Well, hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. This is episode 24, I think. And we've been on the moon doing a few things. I went ahead and grabbed a few things here, which we'll do in future episodes here, but I wanted to grab them as we could. But I grabbed Explore the Moon because it had stuff we were already doing. Dock two vessels on or around, rendezvous two vessels in orbit, and return to Kerbin from the surface of the moon. So we basically are already kind of set up to do these two things, but in order to do this, we're going to actually have to land that return vehicle. So this is going to be kind of a goofy thing. We're only probably going to get one biome because of this. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and grab that from the station. And, whoops, I clicked the wrong button. I want to go ahead and grab that from the station and land it on the moon, and then we'll do a return mission after that. So we won't be getting as much science on the overall biome side of things. We won't be hitting as many biomes, is what I'm trying to say, as I would really prefer. But I want to get this mission taken care of, and it's a fairly easy thing to hit, and it's not like we're not going to be coming back here. So the very first thing, unfortunately, I need to be docked with this side of the thing instead of this side of the thing. So we are going to need to undock. And we'll turn on the rockets here, and the RCS will just back away from it a little bit. We're going to change ships. And if we're lucky, what I'll just do is I'll say control from here. And we'll turn on this, and that's weird. That should work from here. All right, we'll control from here. Oh, we don't have a, that's why it didn't work. Set as target. And we will control from here. Control from here. Come on, that's set as target. I don't know why that's not letting me. Oh, it is. I just not looking at the right controls. Out of my mind, out of my mind. We are going to hopefully this one now, we are going to set that as the target. And we're just going to go ahead and shoot back into the dude. Well, whoops. Meant to hit the K key, I hit the M key. So we're headed right towards each other. Hopefully this will do it. Darn it. Okay, we are right there. This should come together pretty easily at this point. And there we go. Turn off the RCS, and we are together. We're going to go ahead and undock here. Here? Yeah, we're going to undock here. Turn on the RCS again and back up. Now, it's a little silly. I will grant you. Let's see if I have it here. Yeah. So we have plenty of Delta V, but I just want to make sure that we have enough to do everything, especially with this attached to us. So we are going to, in reference to turn off RCS, we're going to go ahead and turn retrograde. And presumably, well, that's weird. We just docked two vessels. We're rendezvoused. Maybe it needs to be separate launches. I have no idea. All right, we're going to go ahead and put this relative to the surface. When we find someplace interesting that we haven't landed yet as far as biomes, we will go ahead and do that. I'm fast forwarding. It's kind of tough to do that too fast because it's so easy to fly over places and miss them. There's a mod, I think, that will actually slow it down as soon as you actually hit it, change what biome you're over. Oops, that's what I want. Oops. Well, it's sort of what I wanted, but yeah, we passed over it. Hopefully there'll be more highlands. Well, we're in East Crater. Let's just take that. I just want a different biome. And one nice thing about East Crater is it should be relatively flat. Although watch, we'll invariably like land on one of these slopes. I was noticing previously that there had been some pixelation in some of my videos, so I changed the resolution to lower, figuring that it would render more easily. I'm hoping that's true, so hopefully these are coming out a little clearer. But this stuff looks oddly large to me now. I'm doing it at 1920 by 1080, and it I am not used to that. I bought a new monitor a while back, and I've been trying to do the higher resolutions when I can. And this is slower than it should be. It seems like we're going to be right in the middle of this thing, it looks like. We still have a long way to fall, so... that should be pretty close to right. Not quite. We can fix that. Boom, right there. Are we really doing it? Are we going to come down on that hill? I think we're going to come down on that hill, so I'm going to burn this way just a little bit. No, 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 no. The other way, other way, other way, other way, other way. Darn it. I thought I had to get it clicked off, but I didn't, and that would explain why. All right. This is a little bit better. We have, again, we're kind of running out of room to fall, so I'm going to go ahead and get us as close as we can to that. We're about right, so yeah, we're good. Slowing this thing down. It's a little harder to slow it down because it has a lot of extra weight on it now. We should be fine. We have plenty of room to fall. In fact, I should let it fall faster at this point. And closer. Still not close. We're almost at safe landing speed now, and we are in safe landing speed, and we have still over 100 meters to go, so just going to slow that down. In fact, we might even let it speed up just a tad bit on that descent. We're still in safe. I don't know what that shadow is. I'm going to just change the angle a little bit. That was getting kind of annoying. And we are there. Almost on the ground, and perfect. All right, that's crazy. So this container has made it to the surface of the moon. So when we go back to Kerbin, that'll count as returning the vessel from that point. And that's why we brought that. It's kind of silly, but we'll go ahead and take... That's weird. take Bob Kerbin out, and I forgot to do it, so I'm going to go ahead and board him again. Oh, took Jebediah out. That was the problem. That was weird. All right, didn't mean to take him out. I wanted to collect all this data first, so we're going to go ahead and transmit, as we often do, or as we always do, always try to do. We'll take Bob out. He will take a surface sample. He will do an EVA report. He's going to run down the ladder and reset all these experiments. Restore. Restore. He's going to board. Going to run those experiments again, but we're just going to keep the ones that have data we can take. And we'll get him out again. Get him down the ladder. Take the data. Take the data. Collect data, restore. Collect data, restore. Take the data. Take the data. Run down the steps a little bit more. We'll go ahead and plant a flag. Wonder if it'll stick in the ground. I have not had a flag stick in the ground since I've upgraded. I don't know if that's just happenstance since I've upgraded or what. Let's see if it holds. Nope. Weirdest thing. Do not understand. Okay, climb on up. We're going to board. And now we're going to take off. We're going to get back into orbit and try to get these Kerbals home. We will come back for yet another mission at some point. We have plenty of Delta V to do this, especially for what I want to do, because this is going to be a crazy return. But I just want to make sure that I do, in fact, have the ability to do it. I want to be on the safe side. I'm not really too caring if these orbits are aligned, because we're not going back to the other ship now. And we'll get the apoapsis up here. I'll get to the apoapsis and we'll make a burn so we can get back into orbit. It's actually pretty close, but that's actually pretty awful. Yeah, can just take a little bit of the juice away there. I think that'll even those up. 12 and 13. That's close enough. And we have a 46-second burn time, so let's speed this up a bit. And away we go. I want to go ahead and do a physics fast forward on... Whoops. All right. Don't show that again. Hopefully that's not too big of a ship that's going to really be a problem. Because I really like doing the physics fast forward when I can during these burns. It's because some of these things are just huge. You know, huge on the time. It's this doesn't really have to be all that perfect. I just need to be in orbit. All right, so here we are. We are in orbit. It's relatively circularized. And what we want to do is come out here, and I want to burn someplace in the neighborhood of here, I think. Well, we'll screw around with this in a minute. See which gets us the best. So basically there, and then I just want to... We'll still move this around to see which gets us the best. I'll probably have to do that quite a bit. And I want a periapsis. We're almost there. I want a periapsis that is inside the atmosphere. Not that far, however. Whoops. To go this way. We see that start peeking out. We'll start looking. That's about perfect. So what's going to happen is we're going to have this huge orbit, and this thing's going to dip in. We're just going to aerobrake with that huge... heat shield. So first thing we need to do is we need to move wherever he is. There we go. We need to do a... Where is it? We should be able to transfer crew, and I am not seeing transfer crew anywhere here. There's just too much stuff here. They've added too much in the last... There it is, transfer crew. First thing, we're going to transfer Jebediah into the return vehicle. Bob Kerman, however, we're going to take on an EVA because, for whatever reason, we can't seem to transfer all that data properly. And I think that's probably good enough. It'll let him go. He's going to need to bring him down. It's not really giving me a sensible angle on him. I don't know why. But sometimes you'd expect forward to be relative to that door, and it's not. Up is. So I have to like rethink about what keys I'm using, and we're gonna head board, grab, whatever, board. Okay, so everything is in here. We just need to make that burn when it gets here. And we're gonna warp to that right now. If I really wanted to, I could have started doing a bunch of experiments too, but I already had him kind of moved anyways, so it didn't make a lot of sense. All right, at 20 we need to go, so T-minus 20. So we'll fast forward that a little bit. And here we go now. So this burn should hopefully get us on the trajectory that we want, get us that air braking. Just watching that come down. Not quite where I wanted it, a little bit more. The 52 is really kind of a rough guess, so that's good enough. All right, so here we are. Everything looks exactly the way that we want it to look. So we are going to go ahead and just decouple this node. And we are going to go ahead and turn on RCS, and we're going to go ahead and back this thing up a little bit. And then the next thing we're going to do with this one is we just want to keep it in orbit. So we are going to go ahead and, whoops, we're going to go ahead and go retrograde, go full blast, and this should bring us back into orbit of the moon. Just bring that down. Now that's a little bit ridiculous there, so I'm just going to go ahead and fly to here. This is still a little high, but I don't really care so much. I just want to keep this thing in orbit. That's a little high. That's a little low. That's close. So we're going to go ahead and warp to the next maneuver. As this goes back to Earth, our Earth, Kerbin. Okay, and I'm not too concerned about this. I just want to get this periapsis out, so I'm just going to burn until that periapsis is out to about 10, and it is. And again, we can bring that in later should we desire to do so. We'll probably have a different science ship anyway, so that just may be relegated to the territory of basically glorified satellite. All right, we're going to go ahead and switch to this ship. This contains our science, and this contains our astronauts, our Kerbinauts. So what we need to do, first of all, is we need to lose this docking shield, or this docking plate, because it's going to be blocking us from being able to open up this heat shield if we don't. So we're going to go ahead and hit there, fire that away, and we're going to go ahead and inflate this. And we will turn on RCS, or not RCS, but we'll turn on our reaction wheel, which is basically in here. Just have the probe core basically controlling this whole thing. We've got a battery, and we've got some power coming in, so keeping our battery charged. So now it's just basically going to be waiting. We're still actually in orbit of the moon, so let's go ahead and we'll speed out there, and we're going to go ahead and warp down to about here and see what happens. Now this is going to be aggressive, so we're probably going to make at least 1 or 2 orbits here by the time we actually find ourselves deep enough into the atmosphere. But this is going to bleed off a ton, just a ton of speed as it gets deeper in. I mean, you can see already, and we're not that deep into the atmosphere. And yeah, we will end up going up. And out, I imagine. But it is going to be dropping. I mean, look how much that's dropped. I mean, that was all the way from the moon. Well, we may not. We're just starting to go back up again, and this thing is really coming down quickly. I didn't realize that thing braked quite that much at that high of an altitude. I know it did at later altitudes. It's coming up, but that's falling fast. If we go back into orbit, it's going to just be barely. Or not say go back into orbit, go back into space. And it doesn't look like we are... Here we go. It's going to fall before. Yep. Wow, that was enough. So that was a pretty cheesy way to get back here. Oh, I should probably close these doors. That heat shield just slows it down so much. I mean, we're at 67 and we're going up still, but that should be dropping here pretty soon. We're not going to make it to 70. You can just see how it's slowly coming down. I'm going to physics fast forward this. Already am. Never mind. All right, we are falling again, this time for the last time. And even falling, we are. At this height, we're just burning off so much speed, and it's all due to this wonderful, majestic heat shield. And this is just a beauty on both Duna and on Eve for completely different reasons. On Duna, it slows you down much like this, and it's a beautiful aerobraking tool in that thin atmosphere. On Eve, it just completely heat shields you. I mean, it's just a wonderful protection. Because you're going fast when you're coming down in Eve, and that atmosphere is so, so thick. Yeah, we're not even into the 20s, and we're really dropped in speed. All right, we can take the drogue chutes out. Well, it said we could. Well, I did them all. I didn't mean to do them all, but it said they were safe, so I'm not too concerned. There we go. So when this gets slow enough, what I want to do is drop this. But I want to wait until the parachutes are open, because I think this thing is still going to give us so much resistance that if I drop it now, it'll turn sideways on the ship and start screwing with the parachutes and everything else. So I got to be wary of the consequences of having that on board as well. But we're getting close. The drogue chutes should be opening pretty shortly, and then the regular chutes should follow at about 1,000 meters, someplace in that neighborhood, when this is. And at about 1,000, come on. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and jettison this. That fell fast with the physics fast forward on. And this is going to be nice. If we can get down there. That's fast forwarded, so it's the one thing about this game. I wish in this particular case with the parachutes out and stuff like that it would let you go a little bit faster, but we could have probably gotten away with less parachutes on this, but I'm actually happy with the 4. I'd rather it just come down like this. If we're in the mountains or something like that, it's not always so gentle. You don't always have quite the room to slow down. So there we are. We're going to go ahead and recover that. Then we're going to have a whole lot of science, I hope. I hope. Every once in a while, well, I shouldn't say every once in a while, it seems to me that this is taking longer on the loading screen than I'm remembering it doing. We didn't quite get as much science through all of this as I had thought we were going to. However, I think we have all the science that we need to do what I want to do immediately. We got some funds, although we didn't get many. Something I've been wanting to do for a while, too. I was kind of poo-pooing this earlier. I didn't mean to do that. I was thinking that maybe, after all, I am going to go ahead and upgrade this. Sometimes it's just easier to build things in the hangar than it is to build in the vehicle assembly building. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade that. And for the aesthetics, I'm just going to go ahead and upgrade the runway as well. I am not going to worry about the administration building. But the other thing I want to do is let's go in and spend some of this science, because some of the science is going to be just wonderful. First of all, we're going to go into more electronics, and we're going to get a nuclear reactor. Now, the great thing about the nuke here is it doesn't provide you very much power. It's about the same as one of those tiny solar panels. But what's nice about it is it works far away from the sun. It works when you aren't seeing the sun, so it's a constant supply of power. The other thing that's going to be really important to get is this right here. This is going to make mining operations possible. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. And we have 300 left to spend. I know there's probably stuff we could spend it on. Like it probably wouldn't hurt to have some of these tanks. So I'm going to go ahead and spend it on that, but there's nothing that's going to really give us too much for. You know, it's not going to give us too much benefit right at the moment. But we shall use it, and we will need it at some point in time. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. And if you like this video, please click the like button. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you the next time. Have a great day. Be safe.